Welcome to the College of Dietitians of Ontario's Multi-Source Feedback Survey e-learning module. Step 1 of the Peer and Practice Assessment. What is the purpose of the Multi-Source Feedback Survey? The survey provides feedback to dietitians to encourage practice improvement, and it acts as a screening tool to identify dietitians who require more in-depth practice assessment. It is important to keep in mind that there are 3 surveys. First, there is the self-survey, which must be completed online. Second is the colleague survey. For this survey, you should choose at least 6 colleagues with whom you work with to complete it. All colleague surveys must be completed online. And third is the patient survey. Only dietitians who see patients are required to obtain at least 9 patient surveys. These may be submitted online or mailed by the patient in a provided prepaid envelope. Your Peer and Practice Assessment package contains a notification letter with your password, which you will use throughout the process. You will also receive instructions on how to send surveys to colleagues, and information labeled Access to Patient Information and Records. This will explain your PPA process to your manager if needed. If you provide dietetic services directly to patients, you will receive a second envelope labeled Patients. This envelope holds 15 individual sealed envelopes, one for each patient survey. Each sealed envelope contains an instruction letter, a patient survey with a password for the patient to complete the survey online, and a self-addressed postage paid envelope with a confidential stamp. This should be used if the patient chooses to submit their survey by mail. Before distribution, make sure to confirm that your registration number is printed on the exterior of the sealed patient envelopes. Now that you know the contents of the Peer and Practice Assessment package, you can move on to getting started. Step 1. Go to the college's website. Step 2. Click on the box labeled Peer and Practice Assessment Multi-Source Survey. Step 3. Enter your numeric password, which can be found in your notification letter. Then complete the self-survey. And Step 4. Complete the online tally page. The tally page is where you enter your colleague and patient names to whom you have sent surveys. It allows you to keep track of surveys submitted to the college. It is composed of 3 parts. The top red row is for information related to the self-survey. This is where you should enter your email address. When you complete the self-survey and submit it, a checkmark will indicate when it has been received. The second portion is for the names of your patients. You may choose up to 15 patients to do the survey. You need at least 9 submitted before the deadline. Email addresses are not needed for patients unless you cannot give them the survey in person. You should also remind patients if they have not completed the survey within 2 weeks. And remember, names of patients on the tally sheet should match their envelope number. For example, if Jane Doe's name was entered in the number 1 position of the patient's portion on the tally sheet, she should have the sealed patient envelope with the number 1 on it. Lastly, the bottom portion of the tally is for colleagues. You may choose up to 10 colleagues to submit the survey online. You need at least 6 surveys submitted before the deadline, and names and emails must be provided on the tally sheet. You may send reminders to colleagues who did not submit their survey by clicking the Save Tally and Send New Emails button at the bottom of the tally sheet. Remind your colleagues to check their spam or junk folder for an email from the College of Dietitians of Ontario surveys, cdo_msf@cytoresearch.com. Once the minimum number of surveys have been submitted, you may submit the tally page to the college by clicking the Send button, or you may wait for more surveys to be submitted. The more feedback, the better. Here's a checklist to ensure that you have done everything. Reminded colleagues to speak to the IT to ensure delivery of the email. Completed the self-survey. Asked colleagues and patients to complete the survey. Patients listed on the tally sheet match their envelope number. Followed up with patients and colleagues if they did not complete the survey. Send the tally sheet to the college once minimum numbers are reached, or wait for more surveys to be submitted. And remember, the minimum number of surveys must be submitted by June 1st. For more details, please visit the college's website at www.collegeofdietitians.org and search for Peer and Practice Assessment Handbook, Step 1.